This conference
Um,
will now be recorded.
as of right now, I am recording it.
Wonderful.
All right. So my name's Brian Weissman. I am kind of jack of a lot of trades, really on the sales and some trading side of the equation here at Snapstream. We're a small, but pretty out there in the field company of about 30 employees. We have we have customers across a wide variety of verticals, but the bread and butter is broadcast and entertainment typically. Although we do also have quite a bit of customers in the government and education space as well. We're not too far down the road, headquartered in Houston, though obviously that's a little ways given the size of Texas. So, we work with in the broadcast space, we work with all the big network operations and then a lot of the local affiliates as well. So before I go too much further, can you see my screen right now that's got the website up?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the 10-second explanation of what Snapstream does is we make a technology that's a hybrid between an enterprise DVR appliance and Google search technology. Or as I like to say, if a DVR and Google had a baby, they would produce Snapstream. What we enable organizations to do is to record scalable amounts of content, whether that be live events or in your case, traditional broadcast content, and then do a variety of functionality with that recorded content or even that live content for that matter. So as you see on my screen, it helps with error checks from like a technical standpoint. There's the competitive intelligence side of just what's going on overall in the marketplace, not just with your station, but the competitor stations. Ad verification for easy interaction with your clients. Social is a big piece of the functionality of our platform. We have direct integration with Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and easy ability to also get content to some of the other platforms such as Instagram, although the only reason that we don't have other platforms directly integrated besides those three is because they have not given public API access connectivity to their platforms. The day that they do will be the day that we have that as part of our product. Also, the ability to create clips on the fly or after the fact, and perhaps the sort of most unique aspect of our company is that ability to search content within all of the archive of what you are recording. So search is powered by the closed captioning associated with those DVR'd recordings. As long as you are recording things that have the associated closed captioning file, you can, with the click of a button, scour, large amounts of content for the exact topical mentions that you're looking for. You can do that both in a manual process as well as you see on the screen, you can set up email alerts. So if there are certain things that you regularly want to be notified about, Snapstream makes it easy to have that at your fingertips as well. Any questions so far? Nope. Okay. Sounds good. So what I'm going to do is drag over this interface here. I'm going to log out for a second, and I'm now just to kind of show you what's going on here. It's very straightforward. So I have a browser open. I happen to be using Chrome right now, but it really doesn't matter which browser you guys have a preference for. Internet Explorer works just the same.
Because it's kind of hard to read.
I'm sorry?
Can you zoom in your browser a little bit? It's a little bit hard to read.
1 second. Is that any better?
Yes.
More, or is that good?
I think that's good.
Okay. All right. So I've got my browser pulled up, and ideally, I'd recommend that everybody have their own login credentials. We'll get to that part at the very end. But it just kind of, for obvious reasons, like you can have one generic account, but there's not really a reason that everybody can't have their own account. One of the many reasons I suggest that is because you can kind of tier people's permission settings. So if there's somebody that, the general manager might have a need to do certain things that a video editor doesn't need to do, or vice versa. So you can easily customize the rights that each individual has. So I'm going to log into this system much like you're going to log into your local system. I'll touch on just a couple of very few differences, but for the most part, the interface that we're looking at today is the same as what you have internally. So when I log in, this is my home screen. I refer to everything at the top as my tabs, and the bulk of my time in the product is probably going to be spent either in the guide section or the library section. Or I'm sorry, I should say guide, library, and social. So, and everything's very intuitive. So guide is exactly what it sounds like. I've got a program guide that is a grid-like format, very similar to what I'd see in my own living room. And it has all of the data for each of the individual the blocks throughout the day. And this guide information is going to be predicated on whatever you have access to locally that you're feeding into the Snapstream system. So what I mean by that, so this is really the only main difference that I'm showing you today from what your system is going to look like. We might be pulling in different content. So to be clear, Snapstream, we're not providing the content. We are providing the functionality of what you do with the content once it is ingested into our system. So let's just say that you have some type of in-house feed that gives you access to 100 different channels. That whole lineup is going to be imported into the guide that you see, very similar to the guide that you're looking at in my interface. It's just that our sources are here in-house within our office, and your source is going to be whatever you have locally there at the station, whether it's Quam or DirecTV or Time Warner or whatever. Conceptually, it doesn't really matter. So then within each of these channels, as you see here, I've got some of my traditional over-the-air stuff. If I come down here, I've got my entertainment and sports and cable news networks, etc. And I can click into any of these and I can watch the programming live. Anything that's on TV right now, I can watch that currently. Or for your use case, more likely you're going to want to be able to go back and do things after the fact, which is why you see the red icons across this whole guide. The red dots indicating that everything across the board is being recorded 24/7. Now, you don't have to record 24/7, but that just basically covers your basis because you have to proactively record things in order to do something with it after the fact. In other words, if last Monday I wanted to really grab a clip that happened at 10:30 in the morning, I can't decide to do that now because I can't go back in time if it wasn't already recorded. With that said, you can record episodically, or if it's not of relevance to you to be recording, from midnight to 4 a.m., you can skip that time period, etc. But for the sake of this demo system that we're looking at here, every single channel on the entire guide is being recorded 24/7. The only other thing I'll say about the recording schedule is there is a consideration that you want to have for whether you actually need to be recording something or not, because obviously the more tuners that you are recording and with the greater frequency, that's going to impact your archive depth. And all of the content that's recorded lives on the local Snapstream server that you have on your premises, and it's going to max out that storage in a much quicker manner, obviously, than if you're only recording an hour-long show every single day. Question?
No.
Okay. So just to show you what happens when I click into any of these, so say I click into channel 2, and since it's already set up to record, it either gives me the option to stop the recording, or basically I can watch this. So if I click into it, I can watch this program right now. This is actually a New York feed, which is why the time is showing Eastern. And as this is airing, I have my different tools that I can go into and do what I want with the different, with clipping content, extracting it out, sharing it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to jump over to something that's already been recorded here, but I just wanted to show that if there's something airing right now, you do not have to wait for it to be recorded. So if there's an award show, if there's something pressing that's like a police chase or something like that, you could jump into it at that exact moment and say, I want to clip this, and then extract that out without having to wait till the end of the hour. Okay, so once everything has aired and it's been recorded, it's going to live over here in the library. And this is exactly what it sounds like. This is my digital archive of everything that I've recorded. And I can now jump in to whatever I want to. So I'm going to go into this local morning Fox broadcast. Let me pause this for a second and explain what we're looking at. So this is the very beginning of my program today. And on the left-hand side, I have my video feed. In the middle here, I have the associated closed captioning or transcript file that will highlight in a synchronized fashion whatever I'm viewing in my video player. And then we've recently tweaked the view of our interface, so you can kind of see here that your screen is divided into thirds. So I've got my video feed on the left-hand side, I've got my transcript in the middle third, and then I've got these clipping and sharing tools over here on the right. And not that you knew what it looked like before, but we've really used a lot of our client feedback to make this a lot more user-friendly in terms of multitasking and not having to jump between tabs to execute whatever you're doing while still being able to watch the show at the same time. So I'm going to let this video run here, and you'll see that I've got my toolbar at the bottom that allows me to pause here. Every single one of these icons also has a keyboard shortcut, and I'll explain at the end how you can get familiar with those. But you can either use your mouse or you can use your keyboard to go ahead and create. Go ahead.
Sorry about you. No one uses keyboard shortcuts.
Okay. To go ahead and create my clip start point, my clip end point, and so it now right away shows me that I've taken a 14-second clip of this, and then I can use my scissors here to extract that out.
Yeah, I didn't see scissors.
They're up here by the Twitter.
Oh,
It's right here.
Okay.
Okay. You also have it over here as well. So now I have this clip, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a title. I can also give it some sort of tagging. So if there's a story that I'm working on, or if there is an ad client that I'm compiling stuff for, I can add any sort of tagging that I want. It's going to be associated with this clip, and it's also going to become searchable after the fact. So not only can I easily get to everything associated with, Houston flooding or whatever, I can, it's easy transparency if multiple people are working on it, and then it just becomes part of my searchable content. So in this case, I'm going to say, violence, murder, whatever. I can then save this into a particular destination, which is what it's giving me options for right here. And then at the top, it says clip and what else do I want to do. So I can either just clip it. Really the main things, well, you actually might prevalently use any of these. So you could just clip it and let it be. Share via Snapstream means that you're going to share this via a private cloud instance. So if I wanted to take this clip and share it with somebody either internally or externally, as long as I have their email address, I could send this to anybody in the world. And it's a private cloud instance. It's part of what you're paying for, and it lives in a private hosted environment. I'm going to go ahead and just run this workflow and send it to Daniel as an example, and I'll let him share with everybody what it looks like on it. Well, I'll actually be able to show you because I'm going to have it in my inbox as well. I can add any sort of watermark if I want to. So you see this watermark right here is a company logo. Down here, I'm going to share this to Daniel from myself. I can change the subject matter if I want to, and I can put any commentary down here in this section and choose up to 180 days to make this clip available to the recipient. So when I clip anything, it will run a quick workflow. You should always see, you can delete this, but you'll always see this workflow running down here, and it'll basically show you at what stage it is of running the operation. It should never take more than 60 seconds. typically, unless it's a very robust segment of something that you're extracting. So when that finishes, Daniel's going to have this clip, and then it's also going to live over here in my clips. So here it is, my KWES test clip. I can click on this to watch it back. It gives me the video, the associated transcript from just that segment of what I clipped out. You see that the tagging is also associated with it. I can easily download this as a nice clean MP4. I can download the transcript file, and I can post this content out to any of my digital pages.
Can we edit a clip after that point? Do we maybe make it longer or shorter or whatever, or do we just need to reclip from the original, or how's that work?
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe elaborate on what you're asking for me.
Like the length of your clip is like 5 seconds. Can we make it 10 or after you've already clipped it, or?
You wouldn't be able to expand on that clip, I don't think, without going back and making a new clip. But if you wanted to pare it down, or if you needed to really refine the edge, the start and end point of it, yes, you can very easily do that.
Okay. Is there a way to go back to the show it originally came from?
Right here, maybe. Let's see something. Yep. Well, actually, that's not what you wanted, I don't think. No.
All right.
So you would simply have to go back into the library to the show that it came from. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking or not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so the original source is not going away.
Right.
Yeah, you would just go back into the library.
Okay.
So when I shared out that content, this is what that looks like. So it tells me where it came from, and then when I click on that link, it gives me, it's always going to be video.snapstream.net, and then some unique mumble jumble after that. And so, like I said, this can be shared with anybody, and this is probably, for those ad folks out there, this is probably going to be your really efficient way of sending stuff out to clients.
Right.
With a click or two of a button.
People can open up this web page on a mobile phone just fine?
In any platform.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's HTML5.
Any platform anything that you can access email.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, HTML5, yes, sir.
And you're able to download the clips there too also?
Right here.
Okay.
Okay, so back we go into the interface. Let's go back to the library, and we will go into this program right here. And so now I want to take, once again, another clip here. Don't ask me why I'm picking that particular clip, but that's what I landed on. And instead of using my scissors, I am going to go ahead and post this out to Facebook. So I now have a number of different, and I apologize for any slightly inappropriate stuff that I might come across. There's a lot of testing things that happen on the system. So I'm going to pick Brian's Broadcasting as the platform that I want it to go to. I can either create I already do have a native video, or I can take a screenshot, any sort of, commentary that I want to provide along with the post. I can do so. And then something recent that we added is these cropping tools. So I can make this square. I can create something that's more mobile friendly, or any of these various ratios are options for you. Once again, the watermark, I can upload a watermark or not use any of it, and then go ahead and post this out. So it's running the quick workflow, and then in a second, it's going to be out there on Facebook for my followers to engage with. Once I've created that clip and sent it to my social platform, everything gets rolled up into what I call the social dashboard here. So all of my posts are listed here. If I come in here, you'll see that I get some analytics as well as engagement numbers with that content, and I can easily cross-post just one click of a button across platforms. And then at the top, I have things that have not actually gone out, but it's something that I want to schedule to go out at a specified time, and the system will just automatically send it, at that assigned juncture. So you can queue up a variety of things to go out at various times on your behalf.
Just showing us
have anything
on the clipping. Is there any way to do it more precisely, like down to the frame or something? Because sometimes we want to trim it really neatly.
So right here is probably what you're asking about. So it's a zoom bar that allows me to basically get to the exact granular aspect of what it is that I'm looking for. And then through that, you can, it basically will slow it down for you so that you can clip at specific junctures.
Okay.
If I go back to my library, I mentioned the search functionality. So I have hours and hours of recorded content, and I want to come in and look for something related to Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot easier. I can just send them their clips and say, look at that.
Multi-view with watching CBS and that at the same time. Not really.
So I did a search for Harvey, and I just paused this, the first result that it gave me. and it drops me into the exact point in time of what it is that I'm looking for. Likewise, if I was looking for something related to, any sort of investigative story or the name of a reporter or breaking news or whatever the case may be, I do my search and it drops me exactly where I want to, and then I can go through my clipping functionality from there. So now I know exactly what it is that I want to clip, and I'm able to extract that without watching 20 minutes of content to find what it is that I need.
Okay. So if we need to narrow in, we can use the search to help us out. Is there a way to select video by the captioning, by highlighting the text?
Yes. Yeah, you can either do it via text or via the video side. So you can highlight an entire section of text and extract it in that manner.
And this is all HD stuff, right? As far as how it captures and how it posts?
That's good. That's a Daniel question. I think so. We don't, it's whatever the originating source is. So.
Okay. However we captured it is what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm saying, but so when you post it out, it doesn't take it down or whatever.
No. Now you can adjust the quality if you want to, but no, we're not altering the quality of it.
Okay. Any questions from anybody? I think everybody that's still here, they feel pretty satisfied with what they need for what they know, what they do for their
Okay.
job.
Let me just show you one other thing real quick. So in the library, because I think this would be something you'd use, none of these things are related to each other, so I'm just going to disclose this right now, but in your case, they would be. So I'm going to take these first 4 programs and put them into my multi-view, and now I can easily sync up to 4 different programs and see how different stuff is being covered simultaneously.
They all have to be recorded.
Well,
So just wanted to. What's that?
So you can do this with live content as well, correct?
Yeah, because if you look in the library, you see that the stuff at the very top has a red dot next to it, but then when I go down here, it doesn't.
So we have ABC, NBC.
Everything with the stuff with the red dot means that it's still in progress. So what you would do is just go into these and then where is it?
There's little buttons down there.
Am I looking at? Yeah. So now we're live right now. So I brought everything to real time.
Okay.
It's just this icon right down here. Sync to live TV.
Sounds good.
Okay. If you have any questions, you can reach me at Brian, BRIAN, at Snapstream.com.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.